This is the story of a short-lived group which aimed to create the first ever public gang on the server of Core Journey, and which ultimately would lead to their destruction. 3 players with good intentions, looking to create a new opportunity for players. This is the story of MSB1204, jschmidd and sswysh, and their group Alpha11. Each member, MSB1204, jschmidd and sswysh, were all looking for a group, as often trying to make an impact on Core Journey running solo can feel impossible, and like many stories of groups on Core Journey, this one starts with the 3 players taking a leap of faith and trusting one another. This act of trust and the coming together of the 3 would begin a journey under the name of Alpha11. The group decided to try something never done previously on Core Journey, and since has never been done again, for good reason. They would make their group public to anybody who wished to join, and with this post on Reddit, they were hit with a wave of players wanting to join their newly formed group. It quickly became the largest group on Core Journey, and within the first week of forming, they had alliances with another group known as Yes, due to previous relations between jschmidd and Shade132. This again was a major mistake, as the group Yes was just a front for a much darker path, but this is a story for another day. As predicted, a public group was a traitor's paradise, and it was not long until this would become clear. A player named Drilled Bean shared his own personal base coordinates with the Alpha11 members, and upon logging in the next day he had found it griefed. Of the 3 founders, sswysh was the first to find this out, and immediately apologised for the incident. A meeting was held between the 3 members to discuss what to do. MSB stated, "It was obvious to us from the start that we would eventually have to deal with something like this, but we had no idea how fast it was going to happen." The 3 tried to investigate all the members, looking at their history and past alliances, to try to pinpoint the traitor, with no success. With the lingering threat of a traitor amongst the group, Alpha11 figured they needed to sort out their goal on the server. They decided to help other clan members with resources, other services, and our major plan to make outposts around the world for those who had recently died, to act as bases for them when they were leveling up. 5 of these bases were constructed. They were filled with enchanting setups, furnaces, mines and chests, food and other general needs. One member who was considered one of the most valuable was Soviet Pig. He helped the team level up and supplying maxed enchantments. He also constructed 2 of the bases, supplied many resources to the group members, and became good friends with the founders and other members of the group. At this point in time, the traitor had only griefed 1 base and had done nothing to the outpost or given any further information of who it was, so the founders had almost forgotten about it. But the problem, however, was weighing heavily on sswysh's mind, and he started to get really anxious on kicking out the traitor. One day he informed the other founders he had been told it was Das Betrayal. This then triggered sswysh to go up to Das and call him out. sswysh and jschmidd were for the immediate ban of Das, while MSB was thinking about how this might look to ban him off a hunch. However, this was a 2v1 situation and Das was banned. Before leaving the group, his final words were, "You bunch of fucking retards, fuck you and your retarded team. You actually have no brains, you bunch of retards. Imagine not knowing who the fucking traitor is, you bunch of retards. I'm blocking you all, shake my head, fuck off." The kicking out of 1 member marked the beginning of the end for Alpha11, and the group had been made private, following the removal of a few more players. The experiment was failing. Over the following week, the thought of the traitor lay heavily on sswysh's and MSB's mind. How many traitors truly were there, and how could they better combat this in the future? For the first time, there was talk of terminating the group, and over the next few days it was released publicly that Alpha11 had terminated. The 3 founders continued their journey on separate paths, but remain friends to this day. Alpha11 represented an opportunity for new and old players alike who were alone to join together and become part of something bigger than themselves. But unfortunately, something like this cannot operate on Core Journey, where players thrive on betrayal and deceit. However, there are many good players who have never spoken at all, but were trusted still and given the chance. many of who had not previously been in groups, and by giving them this opportunity, some of the most trusted players on the server were met, allowing the founders of the group to obtain many valuable assets. Running a public group is hard and can easily slip up and be overwhelming, but without taking risks, these groups cannot expect to ever get to the core. No story shows better the truth behind the phrase quality over quantity, and this is true when recruiting members for any team. To end this story, I will finish with the words of the 3 founding members. Sometimes your enemies are more respectable than your friends. Safety isn't always in numbers, and nor is it alone. It's easy to trust someone when you have nothing to lose.